Hey, how's it going? Brian Sims, Show Between the Show. And this is a great story. It's from an 18-year-old Tom Hanks who wrote an awesome letter to a famous director. The director's name was George Roy Hill. And basically, it was in the early 70s. It was when he was 18 years old. And he was looking to get discovered as an actor. It's what Tom Hanks wanted to do back then. How'd that work out? Anyway, he said, quote, "My looks are not stunning. I'm not built like a Greek god, and I can't even grow a mustache." I can't grow one either, but I figure if people will pay to see certain films, they will pay to see me. And, you know, it got me thinking, when I was young, when I was 17 years old, I knew I wanted to be in radio. Actually, I knew when I was like 14, I wanted to be in radio. I grew up in Dallas, Texas, and I used to rush home from school at like 3 o'clock to listen to Kid Craddock. He did the afternoon show on 97.1 The Eagle. And he would do this 3 o'clock prank, and I would just like rush home. I couldn't wait to listen to that prank. And one of the other things that I used to do is like I would just listen to the radio then all day and all night and in the morning. I just loved the radio, something I wanted to do. And I remember I even went to like Six Flags one time, and there was a radio DJ there, and he had these like black and white photos, and he was signing them, and I'm like, oh. And I knew then that I wanted to be in radio. And so when I was 17, I was on a radio show, and then I had a girlfriend actually at the time. And I remember writing down that I wanted to be on the radio, like as a goal, and I put it up on my mirror. And it was like almost like magical. Like 2 months later, I was in radio. I had a girlfriend whose parents had a show on a radio station, and they invited me to come on. And so I did for like, it was about a missions trip that I'd been going on to Mexico, a religious station. And after that, they were like, hey, let's go out to dinner with the owners. And so I went out to dinner with the owners of the restaurant, or with the owners of the radio station, to a restaurant. And they said to me, hey, I hear you want to be in radio. And I'm like, how do they know this? I never said that to anybody other than my girlfriend. Well, my girlfriend had told them. So we went back, I cut a couple of lines. You know, next thing I know, the program director, which is what I am here now, called me up and offered me a job, and I started doing a night show. I was still in high school. I was 17 years old. And then I remember there was another station that I wanted to work at, so I sent my stuff over to the guy that was the afternoon host over there, just in the mail. And I got a call from him, and he was like, why don't we meet up for coffee? And so we did, and I'll never forget, he took my tape, he had a tape recorder, we're sitting there at this coffee thing, and he like goes through for 3 hours, and he basically tells me everything I'm doing wrong in radio. Now I was 17, maybe 18. I think I was 17 still at this time. And I'd just gotten started. And it was like the amount of information that he gave me was so valuable. And, you know, it's interesting. And actually, he ended up giving my tape to the program director there, and they ended up calling me and asking me to come work for him. And it was just like a dream come true. But what it took was for me to reach out to this guy, just like Tom Hanks did, and say, listen, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be a part of. And from there, sort of the dominoes fell, and here I am 20 some odd years later still doing it. But it's the whole idea of getting a mentor, you know, getting somebody that you know has done the things that you would like to do in life, and reach out to them and basically ask them how they did it. And if you like track the success of most successful people, at some point in their life, they've done that. They reached out to somebody that's on the path that they would like to be on, and they just said, hey, how do you do it? Instead of just like waiting for somebody to call them up and tell them how to do it. Anyway, that's the Show Between the Show. Thanks for checking out the website, briansimshow.com. Of course, you might have seen this on the YouTube channel too. If you do, go to the website and see all my social media, Facebook, and all that as well. I'm looking at the clock. I got to get it back on. Show Between the Show. We'll see you back later.